I am coming in here with an unexpected update because my week went to shit. Long story short, and I also explained this in the TikToks I'll put right after this, and then all the footage I filmed before this happened. Me and my partner had a place lined up. We need to be out of this place by Sunday. It is currently Friday. I'm just gonna put up this video and move on because any content I film going forward is probably going to be pretty different for a little while. But we had a place signed up to move to. The person who was going to help us, because both of us are jobless. My partner did have a part-time job. It was through Amazon. Amazon has closed the store with no explanation. So we're dealing with that on top of all of this. But the person who was going to help us get housing for the next 2 months until he starts his job in January. And for us to move cross country to go back to where our support system is. All of that fell through on Thursday, which was yesterday. Oh my god, it feels like so long ago. It was yesterday. And we are currently homeless. I've had a few friends, family give like enough to give us gas money and like food money to get cross country. We're probably going to be doing a lot of car camping. If you can hear the wind, no, you can't. I'm not doing anything about it. So yeah, that is the situation. I have my Venmo, my buy me a coffee, I'll even put my PayPal down there for this video. And if you can't give, I understand. This is not a unique situation in the current regime. But we are currently homeless, and that is a situation we're just going to try and get cross country and hope somebody can help us like couch surf for a little while until we can figure something out. That's what I've been grappling with this week. And I'm just gonna throw this into the beginning of the footage that I filmed before knowing all of this when we did have housing. If you can't give financially, I understand this is not a unique situation. I know a lot of people are in very similar situations, unfortunately, because this regime is killing people here in the US and the people in charge do not care. And now they're criminalizing homelessness, so this is technically the worst time to be homeless, which I'm very well aware of, but we don't really have a choice. So all of my links will be down below. If you could subscribe, if you could comment, if you could like, if you could interact with this video in any way, shape, or form, that is an easy way to push this out. You can also always go down to my TikTok. I've made multiple TikToks about this, and I'm probably going to continue to do so while we get cross country. And staying in the car, which I'm thankful we have that at least, but yeah. Unexpected update to the beginning of the video. It's been a week, y'all. And I'm sorry about the clips of me crying that I know I'm going to put after this. I don't like to put myself crying on the internet, but it's been a week. If you are someone... Sorry, I've been crying and I'm trying to get my emotions out because I need to vent. Long story short, me and my partner have been staying with friends of his for the last 3 months. They've told us we need to get out. By the end of the week, we had a plan to drive cross country and go to live in Michigan. We're from Ohio. That's not that far from where our storage unit is with all of our stuff. We only came out here with the stuff in our car. And our person who was going to help us pay for housing fell through this morning. We have a week to figure out what we're doing, and I'm wondering how anybody in the current regime that is going on in the US is affording to live, is affording rent. If we were able to pay rent, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have driven cross country to stay with people. The job market is shit. I work in childcare. Teachers are paid shit. That's what all of my experience is in. And the job market in general is down the drain. If anybody else is this level of homeless, like we could, like right now, our best bet is to like stay in the car. But our car is full of all of our stuff. So then we have to either find somewhere to put our stuff, mail our stuff back, or do the $300 it will take to get all the way back to Ohio in gas and probably hotels. I just don't know what to do. I don't know how people are surviving in the current economy. If you have any assistance, I'm starting to reach the point where I'm going to have to like put my Venmo in the bio and stuff. I know people have gotten help via crowdfunding and things like that. I'm also a queer person, so I'm really trying to avoid. Half the reason we came out here is because it is a blue state. I am a queer person. I exist in the world. I recognize that I have a lot of privilege in being white and in a straight passing relationship, but that doesn't negate the fact that I would prefer not to live in a red state. But at this point, all of that has gone out the window. We're just trying to find housing. My partner does have a job lined up for January, but we are SOL until then. If you know me in person and you have a floor for us to sleep on in Ohio, we have a floor mattress. But yeah, everything has kind of gone to shit in the last like 2 weeks. We thought we had everything figured out, and it turns out we didn't. So yeah, I would appreciate any advice. I also can add more context. If anybody has questions, I will be happy to answer them. I'm just talking off the top of my head because I don't understand. I don't get how people are surviving. Hello, this is an unexpected update because I don't even know if my vlog's going to make it out this week. A lot has been going on. So we had everything, me and my partner, if you've been following my channel for a while, have been looking for housing. We found a place. We had somebody who was going to help us with the first like month or two of rent because my partner doesn't start his job until January. And I do not have the ability to work short-term jobs because we are currently in Vegas and trying to move back to the like Michigan, Ohio area because we don't really have another choice because he can't do his job here. And today our person who was going to help us backed out. We were supposed to leave on Sunday. It's Wednesday. So now we have, including today, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days to figure out what we're doing for housing. We have the option to sleep in the car. We could make the cross-country trip. Where we were living before is not an option. We're currently looking at sublets. We don't have savings. And this story is unfortunately incredibly common right now. Especially TikTok. It's all over TikTok. Of how close everybody is to being essentially homeless. And we don't really know what to do. So I'm going to leave my Venmo in this video. I am trying to monetize here on YouTube. I've had this YouTube for 8 years. If you can give anything to Venmo, literally anything helps, at the very least, with getting cross country. As we try and figure everything out. Because it's good. It's been a day. You can probably tell by the bags under my eyes. But yeah. This regime is ruining people's lives. Like, people are not well. And I know my situation is not unique, like, in any way, shape, or form. I know so many people who are either already homeless, already doing this, or very, very close to it. And a lot of people are doing without any support system, or at least not support systems that can do much about it. Because they themselves are too close to, like, bankruptcy or too close to homelessness. So anything helps, even interacting, liking, sharing, subscribing to my channel. Even if you don't use YouTube, please just sign in and subscribe. That will help. And I truly appreciate it. I hate having to film things like this. It's not good out there. This regime is going to kill people. Hello, here is my vocal update for the day because I woke up at 6 a.m. and it's barely 2 p.m. and it feels like 7. Hi, I am starting a 24-hour, no, I'm not. I don't think I'm doing that. I'm starting a horror reading vlog. And I wanted to do a vocal update. I took, I think, a handful of clips earlier. I also just put like curl cream in my hair, and we'll see how long it lasts. As somebody who used to scrunch their hair in like middle school, which was many, many moons ago for me, that's what this is giving. So we'll see if we like it. It's still drying. But I started Nelfs this morning by Sydney Williams, and this is literally a book that, in my opinion, is very comparable to Gremlins, is the idea. But it is about this little girl who starts having nightmares about these cartoon characters that are really famous cartoons in this world. But my favorite part about this is that it's set in the 90s, and it does a very good job like explaining to you the atmosphere of the 90s. I don't think it's specifically said it, but like with technology and with the way the parenting is working and with some of the prejudices that are still apparent in a lot of our characters, I think it's very clearly the 80s or 90s, most likely 90s, but I'm really enjoying it. It's only like 250 pages. I think I bought this one last year on like on sale. I tend to get ebooks when they're on like $2 or $3 sales randomly. And this is one I got last year and never got around to in the month of October. So we're reading this one. I have a whole slew of books in my spooky season like TBR folder on Kindle, and that's my plan for this video. I also did get, let me go grab it. So, me and my partner are moving again very soon, which is slightly less stressful than moving out here because everything fits in the car and everything else is in a storage unit back in Ohio. But so moving will be slightly less stressful. I will say that, but it is still stressful for my brain to think about. But in Little Free Libraries, we went around for me getting rid of some books that I've acquired or that I read and don't feel the need to keep, ones that I brought from Ohio. And I got a John Mars, the You Kill Me First by John Mars. I used to be a huge John Mars stan. I will say that my Where to Start with John Mars video is like one of my best performing videos of all time, and I filmed that like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I have no idea. I want to say it was before the pandemic, so more than 5 years ago. But I didn't know he had a new book. I haven't read like 2 or 3 of his most recent releases, but I do have a whole video about that if you're curious. So I might read the John Mars in this video because I'm not sure that I have many other horror books physically. I do have a stack of Stephen King that I found in the Little Free Library. They're in mass market form. So maybe one of those. But I'm going to focus mainly on my ebooks simply because I'm going to have to pack a lot of my physical books for the drive. So yeah, that's my introduction to the vlog. If you could interact with this video in some way, shape, or form, like, comment, even leave an emoji, whatever you want in the comments down below, I would really appreciate it because I've been in a YouTube like purgatory and the algorithm hasn't recommended me. And I will even come out and say the reason I'm in a YouTube purgatory is I've had this channel for 8 years and I used to do Christian content because I was in a Christian cult. And YouTube doesn't like it when you change your niche. So, especially when a lot of your like mostly highly performing videos were Christian based and you privated all of them. That's where we're at on this channel right now. And I no longer profess to any of that and actively speak against it now, especially with the current regime and the way the country is headed. So, if you could interact with this, like, comment, subscribe, preferably subscribe. I'm trying to push this as a way to share more and more of my life, which is why I've been doing weekly vlogs for the last 2 months, I want to say. And I think I've only missed like one. So this is going to be my vlog for next week while we're moving. And I'm going to go read more of Nelfs, and I will update you when I get further in it or when I finish it. I'm reading it pretty quickly. I might finish it. Change of plans. Star Kids guy who didn't like musicals, which is the show that I went and saw in LA a little over a month ago. Maybe almost 2 months ago at this point. It was in August. The digital ticket just dropped, and I bought it. It dropped this morning, like as soon as I woke up at 7 a.m. with no fanfare. And I figured I would wait until the end of the day so me and my partner can watch it because we went and saw it live. So I'm very excited. The rest of my evening is now dedicated to Guy and Star Kid. And I only have like 3 days to watch the digital ticket after I press play. Am I going to buy it again? Probably. Mainly to support the artist, but also because I know I'm going to watch the shit out of the show because it's a Hatchetfield show, and this show, watching it live, meant so much more to me than watching the original one, the original cast 7 years ago. Mainly Will Higgins, but also the song Let It Out is one of my favorite songs ever, and I remember being speechless watching it live. So we're going to watch Guy. We'll see if other reading is going to be had this evening. It is already 5 o'clock. This is a two-ish hour show. We'll see if I end up reading anything else tonight. Hello, it is Saturday. I have been doom scrolling all morning because I'm stressed, and I've decided that I'm going to go listen to my audiobook because my brain can't focus on an ebook or a physical book right now. I don't know if I'm just not sure what mood I'm in. Again, this tends to happen when I am more politically aware of everything, especially when it comes to Christian nationalism, because it's such a triggering topic for me as somebody who came out of a high control religious cult. Every time I catch up on what they're up to, like fully catch up and like know the full, I stay on top of a lot of things that are happening, like big things, but when I'm fully catch up on all the things that are coming, especially for those of us who came from those groups, I start to spiral a little bit, and then I have to take a step back from the internet. But again, when I get in these moods, I only want to learn more so I can be informed, but then I also feel crazy. So it's an endless cycle. So I'm going to go listen to my audiobook. It's not a horror book, and most of this video is going to be based on horror books, but I guess it's a real life horror. So if you want some real life horror, I'm listening to The Power Worshippers. It's about Christian nationalism and the horrors of what's going on and how we've gotten to where we are now in the United States under the current regime. Is it the type of horror I was intending to vlog about this week? No. Is it horrific? Yes. So I feel like it fits the category. So that's what I'm going to be doing while trying to like gather things and pack a little bit today and try to retain my sanity. I did have a really good time watching the digital ticket last night for Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals. So if you want to support a small theater troupe that very much opposes capitalism and the current regime, even if you know nothing about StarKid, I understand. This is their original Hatchetfield show. I'll leave the link. Honestly, I'll leave the link for the digital ticket in the comments down below. I don't know how many of you from my small little channel are going to do that, but maybe you will. Maybe you're unaware. Maybe you don't really know what StarKid is, or like vaguely know them as those people that did the Potter musicals back in the day, which they no longer claim because fuck J.K. Rowling. But I'm going to spend my day trying to retain my sanity and listening to an audiobook. So I am still reading. This looks like a Pokeball. These are my headphones that are like the over-the-ear ones because I have tiny ears and they don't like to fit in my ears. Like regular headphones that have the like little attachments that go all the way in your ear, I can't stand those. So you can probably see my sanity spiraling as we speak. I don't know what's going on with my hair. I'm going to go listen to my audiobook and I'll give you an update if I end up reading any fictional horror. Right now it's mostly nonfiction. I also just caught up with a girl who's doing homeschool curriculum. Sorry, this is off topic, but kind of what I've been doing all morning. A girl, I think she's an author. I will leave her channel if I remember to do that, her TikTok. I just subscribed to her Substack. And she's been teaching high schoolers because she does a homeschool co-op in Ohio, which is where I'm from, if you didn't know that. And she's been doing stuff about Christian nationalism and incel culture and all of that. Not only with her actual kids that she teaches, but also she's been sharing it on TikTok. And I find it fascinating. Because I feel like a lot of people truly are unaware of how we got to where we are now. But yeah, I'll update you later if I do anything else besides spiraling. Hello, it's like a full day later. I'm doing laundry. I am also watching one of the kids today. But they are sleeping, so I'm gonna come out here and film an update real quick. I ended up finishing Nelf's which I ended up really liking. This had a weird, like, not weird, unexpected twist that involved, like, biblical things. Like, there was about 3/4 of the way through the book, I don't know if you consider this a spoiler, but I actually found it very interesting. There was a mention, without naming, of what to me was quite obviously Jesus, and I was like, wait a minute. And then I had to look up the name of a character, and it turns out it is a translation of a character from the Bible story. And I was like, wait, that's actually really interesting. I really like when stuff like that is added into horror, particularly, especially when it's not in the premise. Like, the premise was like little story about like basically gremlins, but it turned into a lot more than that. So I ended up giving this 4 stars, and I would probably check some other horror out by this author. It was very interesting to me. I really liked it. And then I just started, what's it called? Such Lovely Skin. Is that right? It's been a morning. I don't know. But this is the horror gamer. She's like a Twitch streamer, and she ends up getting a doppelganger. This was really popular, I believe, last year, and I never got around to it, and I own the ebook. So that is next up on my things to read this week. I'm also listening to The Color of Compromise, which, again, as I mentioned, I believe in like one of the last clips, is technically nonfiction and not technically horror, but it is the horrors of racism, so I feel like it counts in my horror reading blog. So anything considered about racism and Christian nationalism, I will consider horror, because they are real life horrors, in case you're wondering. So those might pop up in this, because I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks about that. But yeah, that is my update for the morning. I am watching the kids a lot this week, so a lot of my updates will probably be in the evening, or if they nap in the morning. But I'll let you know if I get any further. I think I'll probably finish Color of Compromise today, because I can listen to that audiobook here and there even while watching the kiddos. Not sure about Such Lovely Skin. I will try to binge read that later. I'll give you an update when anything interesting happens. Just kidding, I have another commentary because I've been thinking about it a lot. It's also windy out here, so sorry if you can hear wind. But I wanted to know if any of you are into the, like, giving yourself curriculum concepts. I believe people are doing it not only as a trendy thing, but to combat, at least in my neck of the woods, I feel like people are doing it to combat the literacy crisis that's been going on. And so I've been thinking about doing a fall/winter curriculum on certain subjects. The ones I know the most about, particularly and love to learn about constantly, are, as I mentioned, Christian nationalism, which I have like, I want to say 4 or 5 audiobooks out right now. I've already read like 4 or 5 books recently about it. And as somebody who came out of a religious Christian cult, I feel like I have a lot to say in the matter. And then as well as racism for those of us who are of my skin tone, who are learning more about things that involve racism and how baked it is into American life, but especially American Christianity. Like, the overlap there is something I'm very interested in. Again, as somebody who came out of a Christian cult. So if any of those things interest you, please let me know, because I've been wanting to film like actual sit-down videos about it, especially recommendation videos or like books that I've read that I feel like have helped me understand a lot more of these concepts. So if that interests you, let me know which interests you the most, and then I will plan accordingly, because I've been making lists. I also found this lady on TikTok who, I don't remember if I've talked about this or not. I feel like I have. I'm having deja vu. I also found a lady on TikTok who does a homeschool co-op, and she is teaching her like teenagers about Christian nationalism. And I want to do something like that. I feel like that would be a very interesting like way and series to do here on YouTube. I would say TikTok, but like TikTok's going to be non-existent by December, so I don't know how much of putting effort on TikTok is going to take. I might still try to gain some followers over there and get them to follow me here. That's probably the only way I will be using TikTok over the next couple of months, because leftist creators in general are being silenced right now, if you didn't know that, or if you're on my side of TikTok. So yeah, let me know if any of those things interest you, because I've been making lists and like ideas for it. So I feel like that is not something I find a whole lot here on YouTube, and some of my favorite channels have been like those who are delving into Christian nationalism.